Welcome to Dan ARG YouTube. Comrade Stanley Osaze Osakuno Wodi, they talk about development for Edo State. Make I leave you now, make you hear from Comrade Stanley Osaze Osakuno Wodi.
A great good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you're watching me from. I remain my humble self. Yes, number right activist, Comrade Stanley Osaze Osakuno Wodi, the Coordinator General Edo Diaspora Connect Worldwide, the CEO Stanley Sadi Enterprise. In fact, the CEO of Woman Edo State. Today is a beautiful day. Actually, we were supposed to come out by 9 a.m. this morning, but we decided to modulate our time to suit the needs and aspiration of our teaming supporters and followers around the world. And I think it is expedient for us to discuss on key issues that border us on public concern, which include but not limited to of the gem, which include but not limited to development control in Edo State as a mechanism in ensuring healthy and aesthetically pleasing functional environment, which is the current policy of the Edo State government. The next one is part of the instrumentality of effective development control as established by the Urban and Regional Planning Law, Decree 88 of 1992 as amended, which is currently in force in Edo State and the country at large. We are going to look at the compulsory approval of building plan. And again, what I have decided to add to it as part of development control, because our target should not be raising more of revenues for the state, we should as well look at how we can ensure development control by spreading development across all tributaries of the state. But right now, where we have traffic problems, specifically in the Edo State, is that of Ikpoba Hill axis. And I think we are going to prefer solution in ameliorating such problem. But first, let's look at development control in this context. What is development control? Now, if you allow development to take place on its own without effective control, you give room for what we call urban sprawl, environmental squalor, and even to some extent, when you fail to adhere strictly to building principle, building bylaw code, and ethics of building, you end up creating environmental imbroglio, you end up creating environmental squalor, as the case may be, which will in no small way affect the living standard and health of the people. Now, you also agree to the fact that the United States of America that we all emulate today is a country that enforces strictly development control. And what they use in the United States of America is the neighborhood concept, as propounded by Clarence Perry in 1920 in the United States of America. What is a neighborhood concept? A neighborhood concept believes that there is a principle which simply states that every 200 feet you must be bounded by what we call an arterial road. Every 200 feet there must be road. And now you also agree to the fact that one of the reasons where you see security being stabilized in this developed world is because of the fact that the security agency have a way of moving across every neighborhoods within the state. Now let's take an example here in Edo State or any other state in Nigeria, and let me give an example. Iyoha Street. Now let's say criminal is robbing in the next 3 streets, and you needed to deploy the security agency to that area. If there are transportation problem, there are ineffective access mechanism to the scene of crime. Believe you me, because of the fact that the security agency cannot move to that particular area because of the hurdles that is on ground, believe me, the criminals will rob and live there successfully without being attacked or without being confronted. It's going to be a freeway robbery because of the fact that there are impediments that prevented the security agency from having access to such neighborhood. So, but when you have a well suitable and functional environment bounded by all sides with arterial road, believe you me, the security agency can access that particular area through land and through air. At times you see that in the United States of America, Europe, and otherwise, when criminal activity is taking place on ground, You see the security presence on air using helicopter or a chopper as a means of tracing the criminal, identifying any location that this criminal is entering. Why the infantry policemen or whatever security agency that you're going to bring on ground will begin to chase these criminal elements on ground. Then the security agency who is on the chopper is giving detailed information to the infantry policemen or infantry soldiers, whatever, who are moving on ground, searching or hunting these criminal elements to be brought to book. But when you have bad road network system, when you have a leapfrogging development, an environmental squalor, sprawl, as the case may be, you cannot have absolute security. So for us to have a well-functional security system in the state, we must enforce development control. And development control is very broad. You look at zoning. You also agree to the fact that here in Edo State today, or in the country, Nigeria, even sub-Saharan Africa, anybody can go to anywhere and build. Somebody will just say, I like this area. They say, now, this place now, Uwelu area, I want to build here. They say, here na Ikpoba, I want to build here. They say, here, I want to build. Everybody builds residential environments anywhere. But in a development control, you have what we call zoning. You have recreational environment. You have industrial environment. You have commercial environment. You have residential environment. But in a situation where you don't have development control, somebody builds close to an industrial area. Now, you have the waste of the industry, either through smog or either through carbon monoxide, as the case may be, that has been disseminated into the air. You also agree to the fact that when somebody is close to that place because it's a residential area, you say, I don't like this area, you open industry day. But you are dying slowly because you are breathing in what the emissions of this industry, which is going into your body. And at the end of the day, you surprise to the fact that your life expectancy that is supposed to be about 70, 80 years will be reduced to 40 years. As we speak today, if you live above 45 years in Africa or in Nigeria specifically, thank God for the rest. This is because of the fact that we have allowed the environment to be unhealthy. We have been developing without putting into cognizance the health of the people. That is why development control must come into being so as to ensure that every uses to which land is being put is allocated on the basis of ensuring that the health of the people is put into cognizance. So development control in itself is very broad. As a professional town planner, I know this happens to be my field. So the need to really sensitize our people and make them see reasons why they must adhere strictly to it has become so imperative. Now, what about the building plan? Now, first, there are minimum standard of an approval. Let me give you an example. Now, this is my house. In this house, you also agree to the fact that you have spacious environment here. If I choose to organize a party or I choose to do anything in my house, you see how spacious my environment is. This will be approved anytime, any day. I already have an approver here. I have a CFO here. I have all what is expedient for an average citizen to have. I have it here. You can see the space that I have here. Now, why do you need this space? There is what we call minimum standard of approval. Minimum standard of approval. I'm going to discuss about that. You'll see some persons, they will say they bought a land 50 by 100, for an example. After getting the 50 by 100, this person has built 2 flats in this same 50 by 100. He is building barbecue. Bus quarter. What do they call that bus quarter? He's building it there. Then again, he's building a security house. He's building everything on a 50 by 100. Now, at times there are some communities. Somebody will say, I want to buy a land. They'll say, okay, this is the land. You will not know that where they are selling for you is road. Jobayana. So when you buy the road, you don't know. You bought it from them. Because they've taken 20 feet from here, they took 10 feet from here, they took 5 feet from here, they took other one from here. They will not tell you, the land is not up to 50 by 100. We are selling 45 by 100 here. But on your own part, you thought you are buying a land, but you never knew that you are buying a road. And when there is rainy season, believe me, water must take its course. Water must take its course. When the storm water is coming and your building is blocking it, then you now see what we call environmental imbroglio. You see, some people will say, oh, the water just go, it take the whole of my house. Because people are building on storm water channels. Building on storm, I go to building on storm water channel. Certainly, you have created an environmental problem which will eventually lead to an environmental degradation. So, the only panacea to address all this is for everyone to go and seek for an appropriate approval of building plan. And let me tell you, when you want to seek for an approval of building plan and you submit your building plan approval, you submit your survey and it is started and it is noticed that you are on the road. Believe me, if the government wants to strictly enforce development control, your building will be demolished. Your building will be demolished. Please, we are this William Manchester. Don't distract us. If you cannot join us, please peacefully leave this program. I, for one, I'm an individual and I'm a citizen of Edo State. I'm a citizen of Nigeria. I am only talking in respect to my personal opinion and what I think should be done in our contemporary urban world in respect to the policy of government. And you cannot tell me now to say what you want me to say. So if you think that what I'm saying is not suitable enough, you have your own system, you have your own gadget. You can on your live video as well talk about that particular one. This is what I wish to discuss about. If it is not suitable for you, please allow others to follow suit. Thank you. Now, in this case, some persons will say, oh, I want to go and apply for my building plan. I want to go and approve. When you get there, government will eventually tell you where you build now, you have to remove it. You know, in this country today, when government want to enforce law, people tend to add sentiment to it. You cannot build on the road and you expect government to take over such property. So that is why we always advise all and sundry. Before you engage yourself, even in buying of land, please, except if you pluck your money, when you consult an expert who understands the rudiments, because don't go and engage yourself in what we call penny wise, pound foolish. Penny wise, pound foolish. Now, some person will just see a land. This land fine. Oh, the topographical nature of the terrain is not undulating. It is not rugged. It is very suitable. Man, it's cool. And government will not go and put somebody to say, don't dare, this is government land. And let me tell you, when you are building on such land, the governor of Edo State will drive past you. He has nothing to tell you. But when government want, because governor in himself cannot know what the government land. But government want to say, oh, we are bringing in this project. We needed a land. Now go to the archive. Go and check all our lands. They will tell you, the whole of our lands have been built upon. Oh. The government is coming out to say, oh, everybody, we are giving you notice to leave. The government want to use it. You begin to cry. Why now? Our government, oh, this government is so that bad. They want to scatter our houses. No. Actually, government have lands in some communities. But for the purpose of edification and to ensure that our people is protected, let me tell you, if you want to buy land from, you see that airport road junction, all the Ogba area and the Yekogba, verify first. Not until recently, I never knew that government land was in Ogbesun. A man that I'm doing C of O for, they sent a letter to us that they can't give him, that land falls within government land. A mini stadium. But go there, you say send a bush day. Your man go send a free land you want buy. At the end of the day, you'll be surprised that land you are buying is government land. Some communities can break a whole school fence. They will go there and begin to sell it. They'll say, Gawari, 300 feet in the school. Nobody has the right whatsoever to encroach into government land. So before you buy, know it first. Know it first. Don't just jump into it because you think it is cheap. No. Investigation matters a lot. Now, in respect to building plan approval, I must first of all commend the Edo State government in this policy. Believe me, as a professional town planner, I know what it entails. You want Edo to be like America. You want Nigeria to be like America. But you are not ready to take responsibility in respect to ensuring that Nigeria becomes an America. Now, you see people saying, as you're there now, they're supposed, everywhere supposed you're good. Everybody is supposed good. But nobody is willing to make things work. That's why Two-Face Idibia said, when you move see people, everybody wants to talk, everybody prays to go to heaven, but nobody wants to die. How will you go to the heaven? Do you want to go to heaven with this skin? If you want to, if heaven is real according to you, because I don't believe in going to heaven. I was born and brought up as a Jehovah's Witness, despite the fact that I've deviated, because of the fact that I did not meet up to their standard. Not as if the organization has problem. No, it was Usakuno holding that fall short of expectation. And for me not to embarrass them, because an average Jehovah's Witness cannot do this, what I'm doing now. An average Jehovah's Witness cannot engage in politics. I'm doing all this. So why will I continue to deceive myself to associate with them? So I'm the one that is not qualified, certainly not them. So let me set the matter straight. I was born and brought up as a Jehovah's Witness. I went to a school of no graduation for about 30 years. Theocratic Ministry School. Theocratic Ministry School. A school of no graduation. Now, if the same way Two-Face Idibia said, nobody want that, but they won't go heaven. We are first all and sundry. If you want Nigeria, Edo to be okay, let us all collectively do the right thing. You cannot block waterway and expect a suitable environment. If you build on a waterway, water must find its course. Then your building alone will destroy the entire area. People will be running out from their various houses because water decide to now choose their houses as a track point to get to the final destination. Now, on the part of government, it's not all about let us ensure development control, everybody should come and approve. Government must be able to adhere stricto sensu to the proper implementation in terms of road construction projects that will ensure smooth, functional, stable, and aesthetically environment. That is why Clarence Perry defined, functional, stable, and aesthetic. Just please some minutes. I've just been sent a text message. Okay, we're going to talk about ITV just. Okay, I have a program tomorrow with ITV, and I'm going to confirm this, and I'm going to be there. They just sent me a text message now that we should come and discuss about Willie Obiano arrest, its impact to the anti-graft war, and the reinstatement of Mai Bumi as APC chairman this Sunday. We're going to be there. Join me live on Sunday as we discuss extensively about the country in itself. Let me just confirm this, that I'm going to be part of it. So as I was saying, if you want a suitable environment, every individual must engage themselves, must do everything humanly possible, and government on their part must ensure strict projects so as to be able to actually achieve the goal and objective, which is making Edo a better place. Now, with this policy, believe me, I will agree to the fact that the government of Obaseki is moving on the right track. If you like, you build, you start to the people build for a road. Somebody built for a road. Government can't tie the road for the pay frontage. Water must find its course. That road will be destroyed by water. Nothing as big as a house, storm water can pull it. It's just a matter of time. So if we must protect our environment, our zoning system, environmental control, development control must come into being. Now, if you look at the definition of town planning, Lewis Cable defined town planning as the art and science of ordering the use of land and its character for siting of buildings, communication routes, so as to secure the maximum practicable degree of economy, convenience, and beauty. I take it again. It is the art and science of ordering the use of land and its character for siting of building, communication routes, so as to secure the maximum practicable degree of economy, convenience, and beauty. I take it again. It is the art and science of ordering the use of land and its characters for siting of buildings, communication routes. What is communication route? Road network. Any access point is called communication route. So as to secure the maximum practicable degree of economy, convenience, and beauty. There you have street furnitures coming into play. You'll be in Abuja and you say, man, see as Abuja makes sense. Because of what? You are having street furnitures. What are these street furnitures? You have environmental beautification mechanism like flowers and all the rest. And what are these things doing? These flowers that you are sitting is acting as environmental purification and carbon sink. Those beautiful flowers that you are seeing, it extends life expectancy. Now, ordinarily when this industry comes out with emissions, when you as well breathe in oxygen and you breathe out carbon dioxide, as the case may be, the environment, the street furniture picks those things, because when you know the photosynthesis, when you are bringing in these emissions, this environmental mechanism or beautification material or street furniture, as the case may be, will sink those things, because those particular things gives them the leverage to continue to grow. Where they continue, the environmental beautification mechanism will eventually emit or bring out oxygen for you as well to bring into yourself. Now, to bring into yourself, as the case may be. So, on my own part, I actually did not prepare for this, but I said it is very expedient for us to give a synopsis so that everyone will understand the basic rudiments of what environmental or development control is all about. It is needed, it is expedient, and it is good to ensure that Edo becomes a functional, aesthetically pleasing environment for us all. People tend to play politics with everything. A man who lived 300 years before Christ, Aristotle once said, when he defined politics, he said, politics is the science of collective happiness. Man by nature is a political animal. I think by now we should be deviating from such a definition. Do you know why? Now, development control mechanism is coming into being. Those who love the governor and those who hate him are using this as a means to play politics. Now, if your environment is suitable, I said basically going to live forever and ever. It's just like we're not only going to live forever and ever. Those of us that are here today, in the next 100 years, we may not be here. In the next 100 years, we may not be here. So beautifying your environment is not about you or me. It is about environmental sustainability. And what is sustainability? It is an act of using the environment to satisfy yourself today, as well, not damaging the interest of the future. If we continue our development impulses the way it is right now, are you sure that this place will be sustained for generations yet unborn? The answer is no. The best thing and the only panacea to do all this is for us to, since we knew, the whole of us knew and agreed to the fact that in the past we have been doing the wrong thing, why don't we just try our possible best to do the right thing at this time? Or should we not concentrate more on political infighting? We can say Obaseki say, we can say Obaseki say, Jaibu say this say. Will that put food on our table? Would that ensure a suitable and sustainable environment for generation yet unborn? What we are discussing now, some persons thought that this weekend Obaseki say matter. Why does Akonokodi not said anything? I only wrote something about it. I said, if Comrade Shaibu refused to act against this man, Wike, I will be angry. But I looked into the issue. I said, let me just keep calm and allow the activity be. But when you see what government is doing and the policy is clear and you understand the rudiments of such policy, it is better for you to come out. It mustn't be Osahwinohodi. It mustn't be Osahwinohodi. It may be you. Let's take an example. If the government comes out with a well-orchestrated health policy in respect to the electrocardiogram of humans or the electroconvulsive therapy, which is a mechanism used to send information to a patient's brain, I might not be able to discuss about it. Somebody who is a competent aficionado in such profession will come to say, this and this and this is what is entailed. That is what I'm doing as a professional town planner. Because I cannot go to school, graduate, read very well in respect to this profession, and it is on ground I cannot see anything. You look at it, it will be as if my school fees is a waste. And my parents, my family should be proud of me that the son they sent to school in respect to this profession is a professional in it. I told somebody before, I said, even if you go and bring professor from Harvard University, the highest they could do is that we two will come to compromise. I will not say, whoa, say, ah, it's not about showing who you are. It's about let us all collectively build a better Edo. Now, me check and see the next topic, which is still interconnected with development control as propounded by the Edo State government. Now, what is the history of development control? The history of development control. Before we go to the next topic, let me just give an overview. You also agree to the fact that in the development of Nigeria, we have the pre-colonial era, the colonial era, and the post-colonial era. During the pre-colonial era, but before then, if we want to draw it from history, from the entire world, you look at the Mesolithic, you look at the Paleolithic, and you look at the Neolithic stage of human development. During the Neolithic stage, you also agree to the fact that the use of plow was part of the activity used in agrarian development. And the plow created room for what we call this current development system that we are having today. And you also agree to the fact that in history, what is taking place today have an origin. So, but let us not go down that lane. Let us just look at the history of development control in Nigeria. They will tailor it down to Edo State. Then during the pre-colonial era, before the British came into Edo, you already have the Portuguese. That is why you see your grandfather telling you the Otoki. When they came, they already made a well-organized, developed system in Edo. In fact, the Edo have the best road network in the whole of Africa, they say Nigeria. But today, these roads are now deplorable. They are no longer suitable. The British was envious of the Edo State that you are seeing today, the then Benin Bende State. That the British was surprised. And this was the only people in the whole of Nigeria that resisted the indirect rule by the British government. The Northerners accepted it. But the Benin's, the Edos, who we all know as people with the real pride, resisted the British. That was what led to the death of Oba Buram and Ogbaisi. But let us not go that way. I think I do not have more battery. My phone is really weak, and I'm going to come out later in the day to discuss about it. But let me continue to stream till when my battery gives me the right signal that I should cut off. Now, when the British came in the 1920s, they were greeted with the problem or health problem called the bubonic plague. This bubonic plague is the current Lassa fever that we are seeing today. Now, the British, they fought down the sick. Even when we get this bubonic plague, our people, they move. The plague, they affect everybody. Our people, they move. But the British, they fall down. That was what led to the origination of the current GROs that you are seeing today. It was a government reserve area for the British. They now beautified that environment for their own interest. That was the introduction of town planning in Nigeria. Then we have what we call the British Town Country Planning Ordinance of 1946. It came into being. The British Town and Country Planning Ordinance of 1946 was the first ever town planning law in Nigeria. Now, in this context, every land was under the supervision of the then British government. they now have the ability to allocate and relocate on the basis of the use to which land is being put. And later, they continue to develop. They continue to develop. So when it goes to, I'm still talking about the pre-colonial era. When it goes to the independent era, the Nigerian government took over. Then, the Nigerian government decided to accept what we call the received English law, the doctrine of equity, statute of general application, statute and subsidiary legislation on specified matters. English law made before October 1st, 1960. Immediately, the Edo government came out with different caps. The other government came out with different cap. The Town and Country Planning Ordinance of 1946, cap 165 of Edo State. The Town and Country Planning Ordinance of 1946, cap 165 of Edo State. Every settlement started modulating such law to suit their development need. Before the Obasanjo government came out with the Land Use Act of 1978, which gave room for the current CFO that you are saying today, that every land in its settlement is saddled in the hands of the government, which hold it in trust for the overall benefit of the people. Every land in its settlement is saddled on the hands of the government, which hold it in trust for the overall benefit of the people. This is not to say government I get land. But government is a general overseer who owes it in trust for the overall benefit of the people. And the law recognizes that communities' traditional rights of occupancy must be recognized by the law. That is why, if you must do a CFO, they will tell you, go and get us the community approval. Who gave you the right to have access to such now? And when you can make those documents available, the government issues you a statutory right of occupancy, which you call the CFO. It is called the statutory right of occupancy. That is the point. In the colonial, this is the post-colonial era. We've talked about the pre-colonial, we are talking about the colonial era, and we have discussed about the post-colonial era. So as at now, are we still going to wait or listen to what the Wabagbe said? Are we going to call Queen Elizabeth? May say some of their people come, may they come make Nigeria improve. If there is hope, let me know. If there is no hope, let me know. You remember the song? So as at now, on our part, it is expedient that we do the right thing. Now let's go to traffic decongestion in Ikpoba Hill Axis. As we speak today, in the whole of Edo State, where you have the most difficult traffic problem is Ikpoba Hill. And I think I have a solution to that problem. I think I have a solution to that problem. Now, if you are coming in the evening, you are coming to your house, maybe you are coming from Ring Road, that day happens to be market, or there is a rainfall, or whatever. All the driver will tell you, I cannot go to Bubai, it goes slow too much. I cannot go to Bubai, it goes slow too much. That you are working somewhere, somebody say, okay, let's meet by 7. You are supposed to leave your house by 4 a.m. If not, you are going to miss that appointment. Now, how are we going to address such issue? And when we raised an issue that the Edo State government should engage in the development of flyover, it was obvious that the resources within the disposal of the government may not be able to give us more flyovers. So now, what is the panacea to address this problem? You also agree to the fact that Edo State has the best road network across the country. That is to say, a man in Ikpoba Hill wants to go to Ring Road. He can take through Upper Mission. He can take through the bypass down again. He can take through direct from slope. At the end of the day, you find yourself in Ring Road. Depends on the distance. Whereas some other settlements that are linear settlements can only take through one communication route to the focal point, which is called the central business district of any settlement. By this evening, we are going to discuss more of the growth port theory and the central place theory. But let's focus on this for now. Now, how are we going to address this problem? First, I recommend that between Guinness and Bedbury, excuse me, sorry, between Guinness and Benebiri, you have a road down to Guinness River. And if the government Guinness Nigerian PLC have tied that your road halfway. If government put pressure on Guinness Nigeria PLC to take that road down to the river, because they are benefiting immensely from that road. As we speak, the road tied in that area is taken over by Guinness truck, which is not supposed to be so. If government put pressure on them to tie it to the river, and from there, government now come out with a bridge, taking it to third, and some areas in upper, some area in St. Saviour. Believe me, a man who wants to go to have an appointment in third, you believe whatsoever, Sapler Road and the rest, do not need to pass through the FRPC Ikpoba slope. It's going to take through an alternative route, which will now decongest the number of traffic jam we are having in the slope axis. That problem has been solved. That problem has been solved. And what do we need to do that? Creating a bridge, just like the bridge built in Amagba by the governor, linking Amagba down to Obasagun, to Okoroma. If government comes out with that bridge and creates a sound communication route down to the end after bridging the river, believe me, we will no longer have problem of traffic flow. Then, the governor has already done Owe Road. Owe Road should be linked down to Atuawa. So anybody who is coming from Agbo Road, take through Owe Road, down to Atuawa, through Permission Junction, it's gone. Problem solved. I think the government should put this into cognizance, and it will help in no small way in addressing the problem of traffic flow in our territory. And this happens to be my recommendation. Now, for now, I think we're about rounding up our program because of the fact that this was the tier where before we on lights almost, if we on by 8 in the evening, we'll offer by 7 in the morning. But now, we wake up by 12, we by ourselves often because Kalumba not there to take the buy him like that. Please, if you have not shared this video, share. If you have not shared this video, please share. It's not heavy to share, just share, please. Yes, we've talked about development control in Edo State. We have talked about the mandatory policy of the government in respect to building plan approval. We have talked about congesting traffic flow in Ikpoba axis. I think this is much Nobody can take this afternoon. If I have the strength, I'm going to come out again later. Let's discuss. Now, for those who wish to consult us, and you know what we do, for now, I won't deceive you. The CFO work is a very difficult task. Very extremely difficult, but you may not understand. But leave that. A victor is never afraid of his victim. Those who choose to engage themselves into it should be ready to face the consequences of what is obtainable there. So leave that aside. But when you want to engage in your survey whatsoever, your building plan, design, construction, whichever way, reach out to Sakura Pudding and we'll do what is expedient. Thank you very much. For somebody requested for my phone number, it's very simple. My phone number is public. 070-3610-9939. 080-7974-2172. 080-7974-2172. 070-3610-9939. Usapuno Kudi and the crew. I want to say bye for now.
Now we don't hear from Comrade Stanley Osaze Osakwino Kudi. Let us know what you think for comment section. If you never subscribe to Dan ARG YouTube, try make you subscribe so that make you for the hear all the things where they happen for Nigeria. Make I leave you now with this video, make you help us share them. Thank you for watching Dan ARG YouTube.